Lacey will be sharing her story about how she moved out of her parents' home into an apartment of her own with the support of Ashley Gamba, her Medicaid service coordination, and the help of the community support staff. Lacey moved from New Jersey to Waverly, New York in 2011 and began working with Racker in June 2014. As most of us do, Lacey dreamed of moving out of her parents' home and into a home or apartment of her own. So Lacey, please tell us about your journey. Sure.
I really like living in my own home. I think it was the best thing for me. Moving out of my parents' house was, I was happy, I was upset, but, it was happy. It was, I like where I live. I mean, be able to, do things on my own and be able to, go out in the community and, do things. Like, I couldn't cook on my own. I couldn't do my own laundry. Like, I couldn't, I couldn't cook on a stove or do any of that. But now I've come a long way of doing things on my own. So.
So next up, Richard Schweitzer and his mom, Christine, will be sharing his story as it relates to the Racker home that Richard lives in. And Richard and Christine, please tell us about the journey.
I used to live around, I moved quite frequently. My journey started in Syracuse, New York. And then we decided to move down here a long time ago, and it was tough going, and my schools were great. I used to go to Appalachian Elementary before the 11 flood. That was my first real school, was the old Wego, and then I went through high school. I made it through. I went to Owego. First I went to middle, and then high school. And my high school was Owego Free Academy, right near the old new elementary school. And I felt in my heart I know I was special ed, but I didn't see myself that way. My teacher was Laura Coppins, and she was tough. Every day, instead of going to class, there was a bench, and the bus dropped me off, and I sat on that bench until my teacher grabbed me from where I was sitting to upstairs to do start homeroom. And she said, "What are you doing?" I'm scared. Like, this is a new school. Like, I'm scared. But she helped me through it a lot, and the house was really, it was good that they wanted to turn my old house into a group home, but someone didn't want it. But the nice neighbors decided to put it to a vote, and then the vote won. My mom succeeded to turn the old Appalachian house, and they showed them a plan of the house, and the nice neighbors said, "Do it." They accepted my mom's decision to do it, and I said, "Mom, I'm ready. I want to move right now. I'm ready to move."
It's a good point for me to kind of step in and say, when I was trying to figure out what to share today, I guess it's important to understand that Richard's not my only child, but my middle child.
A little closer, Christine.
And as a young mom, you often wonder what's the future going to hold for my children. I'm also a crier, sorry. And I never had a clear picture of what that was going to be, but Corey and Noah, as any parent here can probably attest, in a heartbeat. They're teenagers, in a heartbeat, you gotta make life decisions. And at the time I realized, at this point amongst the staff from Francisco Racker Centers, and I decided that I was going to make a leap of faith with a group of people I didn't know a whole lot about, and trusting them with the safety and well-being of my child. I sit here today, 10 plus years later, and have to tell you that it was the best move that I've ever made. Not just for me, but for my son. Things that I felt were important, not just for Richard, but for all three of my children, were a job that he enjoys going to, and people that he enjoys working with, do that. The ability, the opportunity to pursue things in his life that have value and meaning to him. Special Olympics.
Yeah, my head coach is sitting right.
John
Crosby.
Man of many hats.
Man of many hats. And I'm proud to know John, and he was supportive to me and my mom when I first started, way back when I was young. And I came a long way through Special Olympics.
And also Richard volunteers at least once a month at a food pantry in a local church. Lastly, it was a home. Not just a roof over his head or a table for him to sit and eat his meals at, but a safe haven for him. A place that he can go to each day and each night. And with the help of the staff of Francisco Racker, he has that. Sorry. I have no real definitive clue how easy or hard it is to run a group home. But from the outside looking in, the staff at the centers make it look real seamless, effortless. And I can't begin to find the words to say thank you. Thank you for enhancing my son's life. Thank you for being there for not just me, but for our entire family.
So next up is Ashley Gamba. Ashley's going to share a little bit about the supports that she provides to Lacey, Richard, and Ray. So Ashley?
I've had the pleasure of working for the Francisco Racker Centers for the past 2 years, and I just want to say that I really value helping others, and I'm really grateful for working for an agency that promotes independence and advocacy and self-determination for the individuals that they serve. I've worked with Lacey, Ray, and Richard. Yeah, okay. Helping to coordinate their services, refer them to programs and resources that would help them meet their goals and, live their most independent and meaningful lives. I also am humbled to work for such a wonderful agency and for the friendships that I have developed with the families and individuals that I serve.
Ray Davis will tell you about his life and how the supports from Racker and others have helped him be as independent as possible. Ray, please.
I like the Racker Center. I like the Racker Center I do, and the special events, and I like everybody, and I like Jan too, and I like my job at Point Chapel, and Alto is my best friend. Yep. And I like this job I do. I like working at the Racker Center, like my buddy Richard. Yep. And my cousin Kerry. Yep. I like to work at lots of people I do. I like to work at Racker Center, I like our stuff. Like the circus we went to the other day. With elephants and clowns. Yep. That's it for today.
So now we'll start with a video about Quinn.
This is our son Quinn. He's 3 years old.
When Quinn was very young, he started having a seizure disorder, which was later diagnosed as neurofibromatosis. He had some very significant developmental delays, and as a result, we got in touch with the early intervention program, and they did an assessment on him and determined that he would benefit from the home services. Lisa started working with Quinn in her home.
In the beginning, it was just really hard to get any sustained energy and attention from him because he was so exhausted from the seizures, and Mom and Dad were still trying to figure out how to resolve those health issues. That was the first thing you needed to do before anything else could be done, really.
Quinn is a very unique case, and they tailored their program to fit his needs.
We worked as a team, the occupational therapist and the physical therapist and myself. He loves music, so we did singing. He really liked movement, so I would do some swinging. Now he's vocalizing way more than when I ended with him, and he's obviously much more independent in movement.
We weren't even sure he was ever going to walk. Very shortly after he started a program at the Rackers Centers, he was standing there and he took 3 steps towards me. I was just over the moon ecstatic.
He has accomplished a lot. I'm very proud of him. When I come home from work, it's so great to come through the door when he's here. He'll come up and want me to pick him up, and he'll give me a big hug. I mean, he's doing really well.
When they first came to us, we had some concerns of what ways we could work with and what types of resources we could attain to help him fill his needs. Really what helped make Quinn successful was Quinn himself. The fact that he was smiley, he was giggly. He quickly learned to integrate with the kids, he quickly learned how to play with toys, and he's continuing to surprise me every day.
He's so happy to go to school. Monday morning when we bring him out there and he sees the bus pull up, he gets really excited.
He's learning how to play from his friends. Functional play. If I pick up this block, it'll do this, or if I manipulate this toy, it'll do this.
Good job, Quinn.
And for our kids, this has been a great learning experience, learning that we're all different, we all develop differently. Some of the other students in the classroom will see Quinn kind of get a little agitated, and they jump right up and go get a bottle or a toy or rub his back to try to make Quinn feel more comfortable.
Mom was looking at different programs, and in the end, I think Racker Center was the most comfortable for her. I think she just knew that this was a difficult but important move for the family and for Quinn.
I hope in the future Quinn just becomes the best version of himself. Whatever that may be, I just want him to be happy.
Quinn's mom, Jennifer, is here, and she's going to say a few words. Thank you, Jennifer.
I just first and foremost want to thank the Racker Center for taking such good care of Quinn. It was a very difficult decision to decide to send him to program because it was very hard for me to trust him in the hands of people I didn't know, especially with him being nonverbal and dependent so much on me. But it was literally the best decision I've ever made for him because he definitely wouldn't be where he is right now without them. He has just amazing teachers, and starting with the bus drivers and the monitor that take him to school, and teachers and the aides that all take such good care of him. I mean, when he first started, he could barely stand by himself, and I don't even think he'd been in the program a month before he started walking. And then shortly after that, I started having more cooperation with him being able to eat solid food, which was another huge obstacle. And I don't know what future holds for Quinn, but I know he's in good hands and that he's going to be able to overcome every obstacle that's in front of him. And it has a lot to do with support and staff at the Racker Center. Thank you.
So we have some time for our panelists to take some questions. I am going to start, and I would like to ask Lacey a question. Lacey, were you nervous when you moved out of your home into the apartment?
Yeah, it was a happy time. I mean, I didn't want to leave, my dad and my mom, and my brothers two at least. I love living on my own, and I love where I live. This was the best thing for me that I've ever done. I get to visit my parents every once in a while. I can't, I love where I live. That's it. I want to thank Jackie Jackson, and I want to thank Ashley Gamba for everything that they have done. And, I want to thank them for, helping me with everything, helping me out, stuff I need, so that's it.
Does anybody have any questions for our panelists? Lori.
Hey, Richard. Why do you volunteer?
I used to volunteer at this, the place that I was talking to Tioga Panelists on my first real volunteer job, and hearing the stories now through my oldest sister, I regret I have one, and I like it, and it just gives me a sense that I'm not helping myself. I am helping myself, but I'm helping poor people that can't go to the grocery store to buy food. And it just it warms my heart every other Thursday of the month. It just warms my heart.
Any other questions? Yes, thank you, Daphne.
It's actually more of a comment from Mr. Ray Davis up there. I live in Owego, and excuse me, emotional here. Sorry. But Ray helps people out to their vehicles with the groceries, and he puts the groceries in my cart better than I do. Nothing breaks, the eggs are all good, everything's fine. Thank you, Ray, for that.
Anybody else? All right, so what I want to point out with the things that people said, so Lacey said she was nervous about moving out. How many of us weren't nervous when they were moving out of their house into their first place? There were some people that weren't? So, Jennifer said all she wants for Quinn is happiness in his life. Isn't that what all parents want? It's exactly the same. What did Richard say about volunteering? That generosity makes him feel awesome. Is that true for all of us? What I'm pointing out is their stories, their lives, their journeys are exactly the same as the rest of ours. So let's give our panelists one more round of applause, please.